You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You got me suicidal, suicidal when you say. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Somebody said, well, a couple of my subscribers said, yo, every time you do a video on Sean Kingston, I love when you start out with the suicidal song, beautiful girl song. And for a couple of the videos, I didn't do it. And they were like in the comment section, where was it, man? I was waiting for you to do it. So that right there was for them. No disrespect to Sean, though. That right there was also an ode to the fact that Sean Kingston's song, Beautiful Girl, is one of those songs that will live on forever. It's going to outlive all of us. And new generations are going to come and they're going to play that song and they're going to use it in commercials and all this other type of stuff long after we're gone. It's just a timeless song. It was also his biggest song. It's the song that made him a superstar in the first place. Now, whether he continued to sell records and top the charts or not, he's already accomplished that much. But that ain't what we came to talk about. Sean Kingston is currently doing time in prison. So is his mama. But it gets worse because now a judge has decided that Sean Kingston and his mom must pay some monies as restitution in this $1 million fraud scheme. Let's talk about it. So, rapper Sean Kingston and his mother have been ordered to pay $38,500 in restitution to a victim after the two were convicted in a $1 million fraud scheme in South Florida recently. Sean Kingston, whose real name is Keshawn Paul Anderson, and his mother, Janice Eleanor Turner, they were each convicted by a federal jury in March of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 4 counts of wire fraud. They went to court, they got found guilty, and they got hit with some time in the feds. The 35-year-old Sean Kingston was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison last month. His mother was sentenced to 5 years in prison. And I know you're wondering, how come they gave Mama Kingston more than they gave Sean? Well, Sean got time because while Sean was on probation, he actually picked up more cases of the same thing. He was on probation already for receiving stolen goods. And then came all this fraud stuff. So the system is like, well, you're not behaving yourself. You obviously think this is a joke. Maybe if we sit you down for a couple of years, you'll understand. His mom, on the other hand, she actually did prison time before for the same thing. So again, the judge looks at it like, you're a mom. You're supposed to be leading by example, and especially someone who got caught before and did time. You should have steered your son away from this stuff. Instead, you steered him into it. So she got more time than her son did. Now, according to the federal courts on Monday ordered the pair to pay the restitution to a victim who is identified only as BC. I don't know who BC is. And they also ruled that a portion of Sean Kingston's income, both during and after prison, must go towards this BC person to fulfill that debt. Sean is going to be making money while he is behind bars. Records don't stop selling. Streams don't stop generating cash. That's one of the beauties about doing music and entertainment. If you have a YouTube channel and you're doing a year in prison and your YouTube channel is popping and nobody knows that you're doing a year in prison, your YouTube channel will continue to generate, providing that you are partnered with YouTube and you did not go to prison for some gross act where YouTube had to shut your channel down or remove it completely. If it stays up, by the time you get out, there'll be a nice chunk of money waiting for you. It's the same thing for music and entertainment, right? So Sean will continue to make money even while he's doing his time. I don't know how much. I don't know if it's a lot or if it's a little. but something will be there. So the judge said that both the monies that is made while he is in prison, to include whatever little money they give you $1 a day for whatever job you do in there, and also his royalties and everything else generated after prison as well, monies must be taken from that. So, in other words, his wages are going to be garnished to settle this debt. Sean Kingston and his mother were arrested on May of 2024 after a SWAT team raided Sean Kingston's mansion in Southwest Ranches. Then we found out that the mansion was rented. His mom was taken into custody during the raid on the mansion, while Sean Kingston, who was out in California at Fort Irwin doing a paid show at the Army training base in California's Mojave Desert, he was arrested after he completed his show. It's crazy. They ran upon him before his show started. They said to him, "We here with a warrant for your arrest, but we understand you're booked for this event and we don't want to mess it up. You're not a violent guy. You're not violent. You're not going to tear up the place or anything. And we have nothing to fear. So we're going to allow you to go up there and sing, do your thing, fulfill those contractual obligations. And then you're coming with us after the show." Could you imagine having to go do a show in front of thousands of people, knowing that when you get off that stage, you're going into handcuffs? So they handcuffed Sean and they arrested him and they had him out there in California. His attorneys were fighting for him to come back to Florida to face his charges. The attorneys begged. They said, "Listen, he is not a person who is known to be a threat to the public. Could y'all just allow him the dignity to walk through the airport the same way he went to California? He'll take himself back to Florida, and he will turn himself into you when he gets there. You set the date and the time he'll be there." And they said, "Nope, we're not doing it. We're going to handcuff him. We're going to treat him like Hannibal Lecter. We're going to shackle his feet and his arms, hands, and we're going to make him shuffle across that tarmac onto an airplane, and we're going to escort him to Florida and deliver him to the Broward County Jail," which is exactly what they did. You would have thought he killed somebody. Well, all good things must come to an end. So according to the court records, Sean Kingston used social media from April of 2023 to March of 2024 to arrange purchases of high-end merchandise. Now check it out. There are other cases on other accusations of other incidents similar to these that happened before 2023. If any of you have been following Sean Kingston and his mama over the years, you know that. I'm not saying they did anything. I'm saying there were accusations prior years to 2023. What the feds got them on this time was events that took place between 2023, April, and March of 2024. In that time period right there, they said that he used social media and other means to arrange purchases of high-end merchandise. After negotiating deals, Sean Kingston would invite the sellers to one of his high-end Florida homes and promise to feature them and their products on social media. So it was an exchange deal for a deal. I'm Sean Kingston. You know, I got a song with Justin Bieber. I've been around Alicia Keys. And do you know these people? Of course we do. Okay, well, I could get these people to, pay attention, or their fan base to pay attention to your business and stuff. And I'll post your business on social media. One of the businessmen said he was looking. He saw Sean all over social media. Not once did he ever mention his business. So he said, okay, that's fine. Just pay me my money then, because you're not holding up your end of the bargain. And that's when the problem started. So investigators said that when it came time to pay, Sean Kingston or his mother would then text the victims fake wire receipts for the luxury merchandise. So they would text the receipt, "Hey, I got a copy of my receipt. I paid you. Here's the receipt. This included the receipt for a bulletproof Escalade, for expensive high-end watches worth thousands, and for a 19-foot LED TV. That TV was a colossal ass, big ass TV. I don't know why somebody would want a TV like that. But I mean, if you're actually living like that, then probably, yeah. He could have got a TV from Walmart, 85 inch, 95 inch, and been okay. That's one of the biggest TVs that Walmart got, and been all right. But this went way overboard. So when the funds never cleared, the victims often contacted Sean Kingston or his mama repeatedly. Like, hey, you sent me a receipt. I don't see anything in mine, and I'm not getting the funds. But they were either never paid or they received money only after filing lawsuits or contacting law enforcement. That's when they said Sean and his mom would say, okay, listen, just get rid of that case. Here's the money. So I guess if you didn't push back with law enforcement, they wouldn't actually pay you. These ain't my words. These are the words of law enforcement and NBC Miami News. Sean Kingston and his mother are both currently serving their sentence at a federal detention center in Miami, Florida, and she begged them, please allow me to serve my time here and don't move me to another facility that's out of town. The next federal facility where she could serve her time at is far away from where she is now. She asks to be allowed to serve her time there, where she's at, home, in her hometown, so that she can still maintain some connection to her family, because she is facing deportation after she gets out, after she is finished doing her time. And she acknowledges that. They've already told her, you know, the immigration is on you and you could very well be deported after you're done. She said, okay, it is what it is. Just could you please at least allow me to just do my time here? Because after I'm done, you're going to permanently separate me from my family anyways. And so far, they've done just that. She hasn't been moved yet. But anybody who's been inside of the system already know how that goes. With 5 years to do and her just getting started, anything can happen at year 2 or year 3 or year 4. I've seen people arrested on Fed cases, convicted, and sentenced in Florida. And by the time they were done doing their sentence, they were in South Carolina or Alabama or somewhere else other than their hometown or their state even. So for her sake, I hope that's what happens. She gets to stay, because what's about to happen after is a bigger separation. Sean Kingston, on the other hand, he will not be deported because he was actually born in the United States of America, even though he was partially raised in Jamaica. And Sean will have to do 3 years of probation after he is released. So he's going to do his 3 years behind bars, and then he is going to pay $38,000, $500, and then he's going to do 3 years of probation. That's the update about Sean Kingston and Mama Kingston. Leave your comments in the comment section below. And remember, I said on all the other videos, I don't kick people when they're down. So please don't expect for me to say, that's good for them. You get what you deserve. All that other stuff. The crowd, the public is going to do that already. The law is already working. They're already doing their time. I just hope that they use this time to sit down, reset their lives, and get back to something more progressive and productive for the future. I wish them all the best. Hit that subscribe button. I'm out. Peace.